gosh. Oh, a flawless transfer.
Here's a flyer for
Awesome.
Thank you.
Here's a flyer for another one of us up in Vancouver, just right across the river.
Who is she? We know her. We love her. She's tall. Oh, is she gonna get the best time?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Can
Oh, you have to
she
keep pushing the button.
do
Yeah.
it?
everybody. Hi. Happy Sunday. I love this. How are you doing, Aussie Dave? Thank you so much for being here. Oh, you did it. I asked for Beastie Boys. Couldn't help myself, had to. So they did it for me. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I am very excited right now, and I'm so thrilled to see you guys. This whole audience, this whole weekend has been really amazing. It's been a while since we've been able to get together at this sort of capacity. So you guys, it's my treat right now to bring to the stage Mr. Christopher Sabat and Sean Schemmel. Come on out!
Oh, tick. Oh.
This is so hype.
Isn't this great?
Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome back. I have not worked with you here in this city in a while, and I'm so thrilled.
You are such a wonderful host.
You are.
Because you have a smile that you can see from the back of the room.
My
That's
parents
true.
paid a lot of money for this, so there's a lot of
sweet.
races going on in there. And
Who's
it
your
was
tooth person?
no joke. It's nice to see you too. You and I worked together in Washington D.C. and it was just an absolute treat. So you guys are really in for a super fun panel right
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah.
By the way, can I ask the house for more monitoring on our, because I can barely hear you. I think I hear you, but if I can have a little bit on the monitors and there we go. Thank you.
Is that working?
Yes,
Is
that's
that
better.
good?
You all are lucky that you're seeing me here, because when I attempted to go to AwesomeCon in DC this year, the airlines had another plan for me. They decided, no, there's not going to be a flight for you. So
I was trying to get to Canada for an air show, and
tips can I be able to give those young actors to not mess up their voice?
Yeah, that's something I have a keen interest in, and there's specific reasons my voice doesn't really. I mean, it's messed up now because I was talking all yesterday. But the big part of it, huge part of it. There's two parts of it. One part of it is copious amounts of breath support. There's not a lot of pinching and straining. And the other part of it is really good monitoring if you're recording. If you can't hear yourself in your headphones, I tend to crank my headphones pretty loud. And if you can't hear yourself, you're gonna stress or you're gonna strain your voice. You've gotta have good acoustical feedback. And then the other part is paying attention to the type of pain you're experiencing. So if you get a really sharp pain that makes your eyes water, you gotta stop. But if you get that aching kind of, I'm at a rock concert pain and your voice is still working, you're probably good, but even that gets to a limit. So in order to prevent against that, it's kind of like this philosophy of, lifting with your legs and not your back. If you lift with your legs, yes, there is a limit to the amount of weight you can lift, but you're gonna not screw your back up generally and at some point you might need a waist belt, right? So it's kind of like lifting with your legs is using breath support versus lifting with your back, which would be using just your vocal cord muscles. So huge amounts of air and breath support. It's not a contained thing. One of the reasons I passed out on a Super Saiyan 4 Kamehameha Dragon Ball GT was because I exhaled too quickly relative to the amount of air and the length of the scream, and I didn't calculate it right. And so I exhaled so quickly I compressed my diaphragm into cutting off my blood supply, and then I guess I passed out. I don't remember much, but other than enjoying it. But so and I worry about these young kids who are trying to scream. And all my screams are real, but on Super Saiyan 3, just as an example, I can't hold a scream for 2 or 3 minutes, okay? I can hold them for a very long time. And I was explaining this the other day, Chris, the secret is, can I hold the scream to the cut? And the cut is when they're cutting from one scene to the next scene. Because if I can hold it to the cut, then we can use digital technology for me to pick up on where I left off. So if I'm going, to the cut, and then after the cut it's, well, right at the end of that first cut, I'll start recording again on the same pitch, and then they'll fuse that together using editing magic, and then I will go back over the cut and then into the next scream. So then when they stitch them all together, it all sounds like one scream because I'm matching the pitch and doing that. But usually any scream that you see go to the length of the cut is not edited together because I have to hold it, and I'm always watching, I gotta make it to the cut. And so that's some basic advice on making sure these kids don't screw up their voices. That does worry me, actually. Do you have any advice, Chris?
I mean, there's definitely inhumanly long screams in Dragon Ball that are impossible to do. And even the Japanese will go just like, ha! And then the character's just like left with their mouth open for another 5 seconds. But it may sound almost like cheating the way we're talking about how like you can scream up and then extend it and extend it. It actually is very difficult, and it requires a really a lot of control and a lot of ability to hear your pitches too, because you can't be escalating a pitch and then luckily ramp back up to it. You've got to either time it perfectly or just know that you get to a certain pitch and hold that pitch for like a fraction of a second longer so you can hook into that pitch right before you continue. And it's very, very difficult. But like any other thing, your muscles and your neck and all that, they're muscles. And you just kind of have, I think part of the reason why I can still scream to this day is because I have to do it like every other week. So we were really lucky not to have just...
I find sometimes my diaphragm muscles are sorer than my throat at the end of a session because I'm squeezing a huge amounts of air like a bellows the entire, and I will usually stretch or do some jumping jacks in the booth and stretch my rib cage out so that I can fill up my lung capacity as much as possible before a super scream. And it's funny because in the recording, it's almost like on those movies where you'll see a dragon show up and then he inhales and there's that silence and it's like, and he torches a village. That's exactly what I feel like when it's like, it's and I go, and then it's just you right after that third beep, and I feel like I'm a dragon taking up a whole bunch of air and then expelling it and destroying a village.
Now, what Sean did right there was an example, because he was trying to make the sound of it. That's actually a bad example of how you would take a breath, because you don't ever take a breath from the top of your lungs. Like you never, and that's why he's saying his diaphragm hurts. You never if you watch a baby sleep, their stomach goes up and down. And that's how like a deep breath.
There's always
to happen.
Expansion down here as you fill from the bottom up, which I learned from playing French horn forever and ever. So a lot of what my brass training translated extremely well to screaming. And as a matter of fact, before we got ready for this movie, I wasn't sure how many lines I had. I started playing my horn again to build up the muscular resistance instead of yelling, so I didn't wear out my voice. And then if we start super again, I will probably start playing again, a few weeks and months before to just make sure that I can still deal with it, because I am getting older. And so I'm like, it's getting a little bit more challenging.
So Goku is powered by the French horn.
That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
It's the most fun. I think it's actually the most fun Sean actually has, because I think Sean would prefer to do comedic roles all the time.
Oh, I love doing comedy. My favorite parts are comedy roles. I mean, I love doing comedy. The epic stuff is great, but when I had to do the Battle of Gods King Kai Goku scene, that was like really thrilling. And I had lived a lot of that because the script was written in a way, it was a good script, but they had Goku sing a lot of these and thous, and I felt like he wouldn't really know medieval English at all. He would just go, yes, your highnessness, or whatever. He wouldn't. So I kind of ad-libbed a bunch of that too. But, and Chris, you play a bajillion voices on the show. You had to give away some of the roles you got so busy.
Let's see.
But you were playing all of them in the beginning, and then you slowly whittled some of them off, like Raccoon and some of the others, right?
Raccoon was fun. I actually had fun playing Raccoon because every time I would play him, I'd just try and make him sound more and more dumb each time. And then at a certain point, I'm like, okay, this might be getting offensive, so I need to kind of like make him a little smarter. So
I have to ask you guys before I send you off the stage, what is the best part about your job?
Right here, and meeting everybody. That's the best part. The best part is in our line at the table. Oh my God, the stories you guys tell us, and the heartfelt stories of companionship and camaraderie and crying and loving together and bonding and making new friends and bring it to the next generation. Especially because I don't have kids. Chris has kids, but I don't have kids. So you guys are all like my children practically. And that's the best part, is sitting on the stage and hearing your questions and stories. And what's that?
She wants a raise for her allowance.
Hang on, I got some money here. Yes, I got some lint, I got some paper.
Can I ask a quick question?
No, I'm so sorry. We're going to wrap things up. I apologize.
Okay.
What is your favorite part?
What's your favorite part?
I don't know. I like the fact that what we do every week just changes constantly. I'm really ADHD, and I love the fact that any week is going to be different. I like the variety in what we do. I love seeing my fellow actors whenever I'm in the studio. I love it when I get to bring, for the movie, for instance, Sonny Strait, the voice of Krillin, flew in, and
Sonny's the best.
And it was like a reunion again. It's so nice to see all our old friends, and I don't know, it's the best job.
Yeah, it's the best job in the world.
Portland, let's give it up right now. Rosalie Coburn, Christopher Sabat, and Sean Shepard.
United States of Smash! I promised him, sorry.
Thank you.
Bye.